I will therefore like you to go to any store around you, preferably Walmart or CVS, at the moment, and get me an iTunes gift card of 400 United States dollars.
Hey there, how are ya? So, today I'm going to be telling you how I almost got scammed out of $4,000. Let's get into it. Alright, so this all started when my boyfriend sent me an email about a job opportunity from his school. It was basically for a at-home assistant job where I'd be making $200 a week, which sounded quite nice, you know, $200 a week, a little extra coin in my pocket, right? So, at first, I didn't really want to do it. I was like, oh, like, my resume isn't even updated. I have to send in my resume, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, all of the work that I was having to do, I wasn't really interested in doing. So, I was like, nope, it's a waste of my time. And then I kind of thought about it a little bit more. I was like, okay, $200, I can work from home, you know, this could really be a nice little thing, you know what I'm saying? So, I emailed the guy. I'm going to be looking down a little bit because I'm going to be looking at my phone. And I'm going to have most of the emails up right here. I'm going to have his emails up. Alright, so I just emailed him, you know, about the job, seeing if I would be able to work around my schedule because I already have a job. Because he said it was like 12 hours a week, right? And he was like, Jonathan, the timing for the job is very flexible, and you can actually work for me only when you are free. Your present job will not be a hindrance. Kindly send me your resume if you're still interested. Regards, Dr. Abdul Haran, right? Alright, so me and my boyfriend, I updated my resume with him, you know, got everything situated, and I sent it to him, and he was like, hi, Jonathan. This email is to acknowledge your application. Resume has been received, and you are being considered for the post as my assistant. This will be a part-time home-based job for now. Fill in your information, blah, blah, blah. Kindly respond to this email as soon as possible. Okay? Send in my information, right? And so, you know, I was at work one day, and I was looking at my hours, and my hours were getting real little, right? So I was like, if I don't get this job, I can't work here no more because these hours aren't cutting it, okay? After I said that, I checked my email and I received this. Your application has been received, blah, blah, blah. Basically, to tell me that I got the job, right? And he said, your basic job is to remind me of events, help me sort out things, blah, 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 help me book flights. Okay, remember that. And perform other tasks, blah, blah, blah. My busy schedule prompted your appointment, so I believe you will relieve me of some tasks, blah, blah, blah. Kindly acknowledge this email. Responded to him, whatever. And then I had asked him, you know, a couple questions about the job. And he was like, work begins Monday. I will keep you fully updated by then. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay. Told him to enjoy his as well, you know. Now, this is where the fuckery starts to happen. So he says, your first assignment for me will be to do a summarizing research on global warming, the causes, effects, and how to reduce it. You will also need to book a flight for myself and an associate who I am to travel with by next month. I will give you the necessary details, blah, 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 later, yada, 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 and send you the funds, right? He's going to send me the funds in the mail. He's going to send me the funds in the mail. he's gonna send me the funds in the mail. Okay? So, I told him his presentation was gonna be done by Wednesday. Mind you, I finished the presentation that night. So, I sent it to him Tuesday. Okay? I had also asked him, I had asked him if he had, like, an outline of, like, what did he want for the presentation, because, like, you're a doctor, why do you need a presentation on global warming? Like, it's a little weird. Are you testing me? Are you just trying to see if I'm gonna do your work? Or are you just gonna see, like, I don't know, like, I thought he was just seeing, you know, what I could do. And so I was at work when I got this assignment. And so I was telling the girl at work, and she was like, have you, like, looked him up? And I was like, I tried. There's just, like, a lot of Dr. Abdul Harans that exist, so, you know, there's a lot of them, so it's hard to find them. She was like, okay, I don't know why he would need you to do a PowerPoint on global warming, because that's a little weird, because if he has, like, a presentation, that means that he has a presentation in his mind that he already knows, like, what he wants to talk about, so it doesn't make any sense for you to do it for him, blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. It's like, girl, I don't know. I'm just gonna do this presentation, I'm gonna get this $200 a week, bitch. Don't even worry about it. And so, yeah, he was basically like, I had asked him for more information on, like, what he's using the PowerPoint for, and he was like, just use your own full discretion for the presentation, just try to make it a bit explicit and self-explanatory. Regards, Dr. Abdul. Okay. Cool. So, the next day, next morning, Tuesday, he messaged me, and he was like, good day, Jonathan. How far have you gone with your presentation? A payment check of $3,900 has been issued in your name and has been mailed to you via FedEx. And you sent me the tracking number. The check will be delivered to your stated email address as soon as possible. This is the payment check for your next assignment and payment of $200. Kindly acknowledge this email and let me know when you get the check. Regards, Dr. Abdul. Okay. I checked the tracking number to see where my check is, right? It was already here. Okay. It was already here. So, go outside. And I don't have the package that it was in, but it was in this, like, big, like, envelope, right? And came from another state. I forgot. It was, like, I think it was, like, from Washington State, right? I'm in Virginia, right? So I don't have the check anymore, but I do have. So this right here is what was inside of the package along with the check. It's from the funds management. See, they really went far with this one. Let me read it to you. My name is Peter Jerome. Before you contact your supervisor, please kindly send me an email to authorize the check before depositing. After deposit is done, you are to send a clear picture copy of the deposit slip and other payment receipts for record purposes as well. Exactly date funds were used, the amount used. My email address should not be changed or disregarded for any reason. He sent me his email address. Thank you for your cooperation. Regards, financial advisor, Jerome, Peter Jerome, okay? I was a little weirded out, okay? Receipt, gone, okay? I was a little weirded out. Now, so, I contacted Peter, right? It's like, Peter, I got your letter, what's good? Can you make it so I can cash this check? Okay, $3,900. I was like, I'm finna walk to the bank and cash this little check or whatever. Little did I know. So, before that, I had told Dr. Abdul that I finished his assignment, and I already received the check. I had already emailed Peter, right? And I was like, there was a check along with a letter from Peter Jerome titled Funds Management asking for pictures of the deposit receipt, blah, blah, blah. And I already emailed him asking to authorize the payment, and I'm ready for my next assignment. So as soon as you have the details for your flights, you can send them over to me, right? Now, I was kind of letting him know that, like, I got this little letter in the mail. Like, I don't know if it's fishy or what. It's getting a little dark. Give me a second. Yeah, like I was saying, I didn't know if it was fishy or what, so I just wanted to... I just saw a mailman throw a package onto the step. Okay. But yes, I thought it was a little fishy, okay? But, so, he was like, Jonathan, I received your assignment. Because I sent him my PowerPoint already, right? Sent him the PowerPoint. He was like, I will let you know my feedback after going through it. Good to know you have received the check. You are to deposit the check via ATM to your account so that the funds are available for use. Kindly send me a clear copy of the check deposit receipt. For records, I will let you know once I confirm my traveling dates. Acknowledge the email, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, he never said anything about the funds management. Like, okay, send him pictures too. Like, acknowledge this letter that was in the package. And I was like, I'm not going to go to ATM. Like, my bank is right up the road. I'm going to walk to the bank and cash this check. So I go to the bank, right? I go up to the bank, and I go to cash the check, right? And I had asked the lady, I was like, hey, because he said use an ATM, so the funds are able to be used right away, because he needed his flight booked, you know, February, so he could take his flight in March, okay? So, go to the bank, I was like, hey, like, am I going to be able to deposit this and, like, be able to use the money right away? She was like, yeah, like, it should be, like, no problem at all. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, she takes a check from me, and she looks at it. She takes a minute. She's like, yeah, this is going to take a little while. I was like, oh, is it? She was like, yeah. Because I wasn't expecting this check to be this much. And I was like, okay. Well, how long do you think it's going to take? She was like, probably like 7 days. 7 business days. I think she said she said around like 7 to 10 business days, okay? I was like, okay, like, let's see if this will work, because I need to book this flight, right? I was trying to be a good assistant. You know, I should have booked this flight for him. I'm trying to be a good assistant. So, you know, they're going to, like, cash the check. And she calls the other teller over there, right? She's like, hey, lady, come over here. I got some hot tea for ya. So she comes over there, and they're, like, whispering. I was trying to, like, listen to them. Then I was also trying to be nosy, but I was trying to be nosy. And so I was listening to them, and they were like, oh, like, the check has, like, 2 different fonts on it. Blah, blah, blah. It's not from this state. Yada, yada, yada. So they're, like, looking over at me. They're looking at the check. They're looking at me. And they're looking at the check. They're looking at me. And then the lady goes to the little copy room to make a copy of the check, right? Which has never happened before. You know, they print out the little copy, and they go back, and they hand me this little paper right here. Crossed out my information. Basically, it's saying that we have a notice that the check is going to be returned unpaid. Okay? I signed a little paper. They were like, alright, you can get your money March 7th. That's not gonna work, sweetie. But I was like, okay. And, like, when I had left, like, I didn't really, like, think of anything. I was like, oh, like... And then okay, so, let me just show you. So this is the deposit receipt. Focus, bitch. For $3,900. Right? That's the check for $3,900, okay? So, that's sitting in my current, right? And so I had emailed the guy, and I was like, oh, it's gonna take a little while because I bank with, a small bank. So they said that the check is not gonna be deposited into my account until the 7th, but the lady had said that $200 will be made available to me. It wasn't. Thank God. Okay, so I sent that to him or whatever, and then I was reading the little paper, right? Or actually no, I had went to the store, and I had actually went up to my job, and I was talking to one of the girls at my job about what just happened. I was like, well, I just got a check for $3,900, bitch. This check is fat. Yeah, so came back from the store, and my bank is on the way back. So I went up to the bank, and I was reading the paper. I was like, do they think that this is a fraudulent check? Do they think it's a fraudulent check? So I went back up to the bank, and I was like, so I was just in here. Do you guys think that check that I just cashed was fraudulent? And the lady had looked at me, and they were like, do you think the check is fraudulent? I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, sis, don't look at me like that. Don't be trying to clock me like that, sis. Okay? Lady. Being all shady. Rude. Well, we've had an issue like this happen before where a guy thought that he was going to be a little assistant, and then he got money, and he used it, and then he was, out of $3,000. We couldn't do nothing for him because he used the money. I was like, okay. And she was like, well, instead of getting to you by the 7th, we can get to you Friday. By the end of this week. I was like, okay, girl. Okay. If you're going to help me Friday, that's good, because, let me know quick. Because if this is a real man, I'm trying to get my money. If he's fake, I'm not trying to lose my money. Okay? So I told the man, right? Right, I told him. Okay. And he was like, okay, how much is available at the moment? Let me also have a copy of the deposit receipt, okay? And I was like, alright. So I sent out a picture of the deposit receipt, okay? Okay. And I was like, they said $200, but they're going to give me a call Friday to let me know that the check has been authorized. He was like, all funds are supposed to be available at the moment because it has been approved by my secretary. Right now, I need you to do something urgently for me now. I am trying to get an iTunes gift card, but I can't because it won't send to my email. I have been advised to visit a local convenience store to get one. I cannot do that now because of my present location. I will therefore like you to go to any store around you, preferably Walmart or CVS, at the moment, and get me an iTunes gift card of $400 United States dollars. You will have to take a pic of the cards and send it to me once you have purchased it. You will be reimbursed for that immediately. You get the funds into your account. Regards, Dr. Abdul. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you right now. I don't have that money in my account. And he was like, okay, help me get two $100 cards with the available $200. I really need them quite urgently. How soon can you get them for me? Regards, Dr. Abdul. And I was like, sir. I was like, Dr. Abdul, the $200 has not hit my account yet. I'm still waiting for the bank. He said, once the $200 is available, help me get the cards and let me get the pictures of the cards once you have got them, okay? I was like, Dr. Abdul will do. Right? And so my friend had came over. We were eating dinner, right? And he just kept sending me email after email after email. He was like, Jonathan, what's the update from the bank? Have the $200 been made available? And I was like, look, I'm not about to sit here and have you try to scam me out of my money and not even look at my PowerPoint. And I was like, no, they haven't sent me the money yet, but have you looked at my PowerPoint? Right? I was like, did you look at my PowerPoint though? He was like, look, when I was at dinner with my friend, and I was like, he's gonna tell me everything that I want to hear. He's gonna be like, yes, the PowerPoint was amazing. It looks like Linda Evangelista. It's a model. She's wonderful, classical, perfect, professional, right? Jonathan, I have gone through your assignment, and I must say I'm very happy with the effort and level of the work that you put in. Also, the fact that you finished it before the deadline, this is nice enough. And I can say no corrections is needed for now. I will do all the corrections and perfect the presentation. I must say, I really am, once again, justified in my decision to hire you. Let me know once there's an update from your bank. And I ignored him. So the next day, good day, Jonathan, what's the update from the bank? With the check, has the $200 or the total funds have been released, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan, what's going on? Kindly get back to me soon. Regards, Dr. Abdul. Now look, so the funds manager, Peter Jerome, right? The funds manager had sent me an email. He was like, hello, good morning. After an hour and 30-minute conversation with your bank yesterday, they have made me understand that they were only following the bank policy. That's why the fines were placed on hold. So I was to confirm the payment from my paying bank, which I did, and they said they will be made available to you by this morning. Look, if I didn't already think this was a scam, all these red flags. Look, I never told you who I banked with, sir. What the hell? How do you know? How do you know? And like, I've been in contact with the bank, right? The lady had called me earlier than I thought she was going to. And she called me and she was like, yes, like the check is fraudulent. Don't be in contact with them no more, blah blah blah. I was like, girl, I already know, because they tried to get me to buy them iTunes gift cards. The man told me that he was on the phone with my bank. I was like, I didn't even tell him who I banked with. So, I was like, would there be any way that they would be able to see who I'm banking with? No, there's not, okay? Look, so the moral of the story is, look for your red flags. If you're going through the bank, and this is like an unknown check, and it's like a lot of freaking money, wait for that check to clear and bounce before you use the funds, because you could have been fucked. Or I could have been fucked. Okay? But yeah. This is how I almost got scammed out of $4,000, basically. Okay? It would have been awful, because I don't got $4,000 to pay you. But yes, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, see some more videos. I got more. I do all kinds. I do funny ones. I do more story times, bitch. I have 2 little pets, sugar gliders. I have a video on those, Take a look at my channel. I got some good stuff you might want to see. And I definitely have more stuff coming. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful night. Goodbye.